to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I am your host, Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. We want to welcome you here to our show today. Of course, we're going to be bringing you that natural healing information that you've been seeking. So it's time to wake up, listen up, rise up, and be healthy. On today's show, we're going to talk about several things, and of course, we have our special guest, Reverend Claire Middelton from the Center for Spiritual Living Colors right here in Charlotte, as one of the very special things we're going to get today. We're going to talk about digestion again. We kind of talked about it a little bit. I was explaining to you about the little villi that live inside the colon that actually suck the nutrients out into the bloodstream. You remember that, don't you? Well, we're going to go a little deeper and talk about the colon, which is the intestines, the upper and the lower intestines. I want you to know that here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, we are here to serve you, inspire you, and to equip you to radically transform your life so that you can obtain optimum health, vibrant energy, vitality, and youthful, radiant youthfulness from the inside out. That's the whole key. So we're going to be talking to you about your diet, as always, specifically as it relates to your colon. So let's get started. Get your white paper and your blue pen and get ready to take copious notes. When we left off before, we were talking about the colon and how we think of it as just an evacuation tube, that when we eat, we talked about how it's necessary that we chew our food very carefully and for a long time so that the saliva, which is part of the digestive system, can begin to break the food down while it's still in your mouth. And this shouldn't really be too difficult because if you really think about it, the only place that we actually enjoy our food is while it's in our mouth. That's the only place we taste it. And that's why taste is very important, because that is what causes our mouth to water. So the digestive process starts in our mouth. Once the food is properly chewed and masticated, then it comes down into our esophagus and into our stomach. And in the stomach, it is where all of those digestive things happen. And it's really a chemical reaction. And what is really important to understand about your stomach and where that digestion takes place is that our body really is a chemistry. And the stomach prepares the food by breaking it down into bioavailability. Bioavailability. So if you have poor food combining and you just throw everything down there and wash it down with a Coke or some water, you dilute the digestive process, and the poor food combination interrupts the enzyme process of the digestion. This is where the certain kinds of chemicals come together to break down certain types of foods. Starches break down differently than proteins, and they break down faster. So starches turn into sugar, and if you put starches and proteins, for instance, a hamburger, bread and meat, a sandwich, bread and meat between two pieces of bread is just about the worst combination that we could eat. And then we wonder why everybody's on the purple pill, right, with the acid reflux thing going on, or choking down antacids all day long. It's because of poor food combining. So your body will digest the starches first, break them down into sugar, and the proteins will remain mostly undigested. Having undigested proteins in your system, particularly if they are meat proteins, means that they will rot, putrefy, and thus cause auto-intoxication. That means poisoning you. okay? Make your body toxic from right inside. Now, another process of the stomach is that it has this little valve on it. Remember this part called the pylorus, and it opens and closes when the stomach is full. It evacuates food out so it can continue to do its work in the digestion process. If you stuff yourself, you know how we do that sometimes, especially holidays. If you stuff yourself and you get that bloated feeling, your stomach is going to push out all the food that it cannot work with or handle at one time, and you're going to end up with undigested food in your colon, and that's where we're going. When you have undigested food in your colon, it's just clumps. You ever have a bowel movement and you just get clumps as opposed to a tube of evacuation? Now, I know I'm really grossing you out. It's about to get even better than this. So just hold on to your hat, but take good notes. So you do not want to have undigested food. Take your time, chew it well, use proper food combining so that the chemistry of your stomach and the digestion process can indeed digest your food properly. So when it goes into your colon, your upper part, which is your upper intestines, your intestines, okay? This is the part where the little villi live, on the inside of the colon. And so a lot of times we think of the colon as this tube of smooth plastic pipe, but it's really not. It's rough on the inside. It's got all these little villi that are sucking the nutrition out. So think of it as kind of, you know those bath mats that have the little suction cups on the back? Think of that as the inside lining of your colon. And you know how debris can get trapped all around those little suction cups? That's the same thing that happens in your colon. And worse, if the things that you are eating are poisonous, if they're poisonous, full of preservatives, artificial colors and fragrances, artificial flavors, anything that's synthetic, usually all that processed food that we eat, if you put all that in there and it goes into your small intestines, there's no nutrition for the villi to pull out, so it's just pulling those poisons out into your bloodstream. So we talked about that a little bit, remember? Now, as it is moving along and it's in your intestines, this is the only place where that nutrition is actually going to get into your bloodstream. So it's critically important that your intake is nutritional. That's why we eat in the first place. We don't really eat to get full. You know, it's like, oh, I'm hungry, let's go get something to eat, and we just pile it in. Well, the true purpose of eating is for nutrition. And when you get the proper nutrition, you'll find out that you're not as hungry as you would be if you were not. Malnutrition takes on many different forms. You know, when we see the pictures of the babies and the folks in Africa and they just skin and bones, that's what we think of when we visualize what malnutrition looks like. But here in America, in the quote-unquote civilized world, malnutrition looks like obesity because we continue to eat and eat and eat because of hunger, but there's no nutritional value. So you are large and largely malnutrition. So as the food is being absorbed, the nutrition from the food is being absorbed into the bloodstream, what's left goes into what we know as the colon or the large intestines. Once it's in the large intestines, it's really being prepared to be evacuated. And as it is moving along, now remember, it's still rough. It doesn't have the villi, it's not taking out nutrition, but it's not a smooth surface either. And so here is where, if you're not drinking enough water, you're going to have lumps and clumps because there's not enough moisture in your colon to move it along. Now, here's what I really want to get to in today's talk with you. We always are talking to you about drinking enough water, half your body weight in ounces of water. If you eat well, if you're juicing and you're doing your nutritional teas, you really only need about 2 quarts of water every day, so that you have enough lubrication to keep your bowels moving, so that you are not constipated and impacted in your colon, which is the cause of colon cancer, polyps in your colon, and indigestion, and really the poisoning of your body as well. So plenty of water. 2 quarts is a good start. As this water is moving through, this is what helps you to pass your bowels. Now, here's the kicker. I talk to people all the time, and they say, well, I don't have a problem because I move my bowels 2 and 3 times a day. Well, don't be fooled. Just because you are moving your bowels 2 and 3 times a day doesn't mean that you're not constipated. Doesn't mean that your colon is really cleansed. It just means that the part of the colon that's not encrusted all around with the debris is still able to push through, but the majority of it is still around the walls of your colon. So it's very important to not only do a colon cleanse, because you don't really still get it all out, but to eat well, water and a certain amount of roughage every day. So at least 1 large leafy green salad every day to help you move your bowels so that you're not constipated. So why am I talking about constipation? Constipation and being impacted in the colon is the leading cause of disease. It begins in the poisoning of the cells. And so if your cell structure is toxic, so goes the rest of your body. The blood moves throughout all of the organs in your body, and so we want your colon to be cleansed, and we want your bloodstream to be clean. When we come back, we're going to hear from Reverend Claire Middelton and our healthy mind. So I hope you took good notes, and we'll see you on the other side. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show.
Good morning. I am Reverend Claire Middelton from the Center for Spiritual Living Colors here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Once again, I am so pleased to be able to be with you and share some ideas. Today I want to talk about a gift that we have. And it's a gift that generally children embrace. And along the way, we may or may not have lost it. I was thinking about this morning, and I said to myself, we don't use it, but that's really not true. We do use it, and I want to make you aware of it. It's imagination. Imagination. Thinking about something that has not come about yet and putting feeling into it. And I realized that when people are afraid, they're using their imagination. They are thinking the worst of something, and many times they can feel it, they see it, and they're kind of taking their mind through pictures of what can happen with something. And I want to take that ability and turn it in another direction. I realize that imagination is something that's alive in us all the time, but we're not always aware of it. So with an awareness of imagination, I invite you to begin to see something for yourself. You know how when you were a child, you would sit and take time and imagine yourself maybe on a bicycle, and you could see yourself riding down the road and even hear yourself and your friends, and it was new, and you can hear them laughing and yelling, and that's the kind of imagination that I want to bring to life in us in terms of the good things that we would like to experience in our life. You know, the Bible says, act as if. And I'm absolutely clear that part of the active if is using your imagination. See, for me, imagination is a spiritual practice, and it's something that I like to allow myself to do every single day. Take some time to see myself doing something that I really desire to do, and allowing myself to just freely move in it, and move in it with my energy and with the ability to see things. You know, your mind, your subconscious mind, sees in pictures as well as words. So as we feed it, it begins to take that picture, and what I know happens is that it begins to draw to itself molecules that match the energy of the picture. Now, what I want to explain on that is this, that the subconscious mind does not discriminate whether this is a good idea or not. It simply functions. It works. So as we feed it these ideas, especially if you have emotion to it, what happens is that there's a vibration created. And that vibration helps to draw the molecules that match the vibration so that the experience shows up. So when we're afraid, we put a lot of emotion in it. And we can feel things, and we hear something, and we see what's going to happen. Well, we can take that same focus and put it on the good that we would like to have in our lives. That would show up. Because, again, the subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to say yes or no on it. So I invite you to, on a daily basis, begin to think about the things that you really would like to have in your life. Part of this teaching is about visualizing. And the visualizing really is a form of imagination. And what we do in this teaching is that we often will make what we call these boards. And the boards we put on it are pictures of things that we would like to experience in our lives. And if we look at them on a daily basis and begin to put some energy into them, before you know it, everything that you have on this board now shows up. Well, because I am a tactical individual, the flat board doesn't work for me. So what I like to do is build stuff. And the first time I did this was, I guess when I was maybe 21, I decided I wanted an apartment. And so I got this cardboard box and I began to build this room. And I put the carpet and the furniture and the windows and I just decorated it. And it was a three-dimensional piece, so I could look at it every single day. And before you know it, I want to say in about 3 weeks, I had an apartment. It worked for me. And also in our church, when we decided that we were going to buy the property that we now own, we decided we would make a model of the property. And we did just that. We got trees and we got shrubbery and we laid out our lake and we laid out our buildings. And we showed it to the congregation and offered for them to be able to buy pieces of it so that we could have a down payment. And it worked because people could visually see what we were talking about. So it's the same thing, imagination. You know, one of the things that I realized because I was a teacher is that a lot of times our children sit in the classroom and they wander off, they're imagining. And can you hear that voice of that person saying, pay attention, come back here, pay attention, stop doing that? Well, part of that helps to shut us down. We stop imagining. But I want to re-spark that. I want you to take some time because, see, for me, that is visiting heaven. That is creating your heaven. So it takes your input, your energy, to start building what it is that you're desiring to have. And if you haven't heard me say it before, let me say it again. Your job is to decide what it is that you desire and get out of the way. It's God's job how it shows up. That's none of your business. And see, a lot of times we put too much energy in how we're going to do it. Well, if you knew how to do it, then why are you disturbing God about it in the first place? Just go on and do it. But if you're looking at a serious, big dream, a change in your life, then that's when we really need to depend upon the creativity of God. So our part is to begin to see what it is we desire. And it's more than see for me. It's putting every last one of your senses in it. You see it, you hear it. If there's anything around that makes noise, you begin to hear that. You feel it, and you begin to taste it if there's a taste to it. So you bring everything you have to that process. And as you begin to do that, it takes on a life. When I wanted to go to college, in my living room was my suitcase. It was packed. Each and every day, in order to get from the door to my bedroom, I had to pass this suitcase. And in doing it, I was constantly putting the picture of me taking that suitcase and going to school with it. Of course I went. Absolutely. Because I had put an image into the universal mind that was going to be absolutely, without question, answered. So that's part of how it works. One of the most beautiful gifts that we have is imagination. Nobody can stop it. Nobody has to be involved in it. You can tap into it freely each and every day, and you get results from it. Again, how you use it is really up to you. If you are taking your imagination and you are looking at all the things that can happen against you, you are taking that gift and using it for your own demise. If you are taking your imagination and beginning to see all the wonderful things that can show up in your life, then you are taking that gift and you're using it for yourself to be elevated in life. So I invite you to think about your imagination. I guarantee you that sometime during the day, you're using it. It may be when you get in your car, you're imagining traffic. It may be that you're imagining getting in your door at the work on time. It may be that you're imagining sitting and being bored at work, or you may be imagining that there is so much work and you're doing such a great job that you're getting a promotion and a bonus. It really is all up to you. It is an awesome, fabulous gift that we often use unknowingly, and when we are conscious of it, we absolutely can direct it for our good. We can direct it into something new and wonderful. And as I said before, how you get from where you are to where you are desiring to be is none of your business. And what's so wonderful about it is that you can dream big dreams. You don't have to dream a dream that you can see yourself doing this, this, and this to get there. You can dream a dream and you don't necessarily see the steps. And that's what's so wonderful about it, is that we really are left to discover ourselves. And the question is, how much are you willing to discover about yourself? How much are you willing to step into the unknown? How much are you willing to put your energy into a new life? The Bible tells us to act as if. And part of that is creating the image and then beginning to act as if it's already shown up. So part of me going to college was getting the clothes, getting all the things that I would need when I got to school, getting my bag and knowing that I had luggage to pack, not waiting till the last minute, being prepared. It's the same thing if you're looking for a job. Get up. Act as if you're going to work. Put your work clothes on. Have the audacity to step at the door, open the door, and go out as if you're going to work. Use your imagination. See yourself arriving at your new position. If you are at the point where you would like to see yourself with a business of your own, well, don't wait. Start deciding what you're going to call it. Start looking for a location for it. And when you find that location, begin to see yourself in that location. Don't worry about the steps between where you are right now and how you get there. Your position is to listen. And if Spirit needs you to step forward to do something, you're listening so you can hear it. But imagination, imagining yourself there, is the key to getting there. seeing yourself successful and beginning to move about as if you are successful, acting as if. You know, I addressed someone the other day who had on holy pants, and you want to be prosperous. Acting as if means I'm dressing prosperously. I'm carrying myself in that manner, in that attitude. With my imagination, I can go from here to as far as I can imagine. So I invite you to imagine a wonderful, awesome, new life. It's available to you. It's absolutely free. And so it is.
If you want to get a lot of people very angry at you, and you're in the health profession, it's fairly simple. Begin to cure incurable diseases.
It would ruin the economy. Billions of dollars.
Cancer is one of the richest multi-billion-dollar industries in the world, and every cancer patient is a commodity.
The huge pharmaceutical companies have everybody in their pocket, from the president on down to the senator's representative. Everybody gets paid.
Something's terribly wrong when you treat cancer and your hair falls out and you vomit. This is truly medieval.
People in the United States and developed countries who are treated for cancer don't even die of cancer. They die of the treatment of cancer.
Many years from now, people look back at this time and wonder what kind of Neanderthals we were.
Happy Healthy Healing Day. Your sister Shifa here with some critical information you need to know about supplements and vitamins. This is an emergency health awareness alert. Emergency health awareness alert. Not all vitamins and dietary supplements are the same. Many popular supplement brands, in fact, contain artificial additives, flow agents, chemical colorings, and even imitation vitamin compounds that your body does not recognize and cannot fully process. So, how can you know whether or not your vitamin and mineral supplements are safe and effective for you? Here are a few helpful tips on what to watch out for when buying vitamins and supplements. Synthetic vitamins. There's a big difference between the natural vitamins found in whole foods and the so-called vitamins added to many popular dietary supplements. Whole food-based vitamins are uniquely bioavailable and occur naturally in foods, plants, and herbs. Synthetic vitamins, on the other hand, are produced in a laboratory and may be derived from toxic sources such as coal tar and petroleum. How can you know the difference? Synthetic vitamins are typically listed on the ingredient labels by their isolate names: ascorbic acid, vitamin C, riboflavin, vitamin B2, and dialpha tocopherol acetate, vitamin E. All our examples are synthetic vitamins commonly added to vitamins and supplements, including multivitamin formulas. Stick with whole food-based vitamins and supplements, including those that clearly delineate they're being derived from plants or other natural sources. This has been your Emergency Health Awareness Alert from Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. I'm your sister Shifa. Happy Healthy Healing Day. You take good care. Welcome back to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. We're talking to you about digestion, but before I go back to that, isn't Reverend Claire the absolute bomb? I mean, the way that she brings the message clearly, here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, we want to bring you accurate knowledge so that you can intelligently utilize it. To contact us, call 1-800-609-8157. Our contact number again is 1-800-609-8157. And we'd love to have you visit us online on our website, oneness.lifestyles.com. oneness.lifestyles.com. There is a plethora of information there. Go to the downloads and you will find lots and lots of nutritional information and also resources. oneness.lifestyles.com. You know, one of the things that we are really keen on here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles is helping people to naturally self-heal. That's why I'm talking to you about your digestion, because if you really get an idea of how it's really happening, hopefully it will inspire you to do some things differently and think about how and why you're eating. Think about the food choices that you're making. And I know lots of people are out there talking to you about making healthier choices, but you may not be getting that information about food combining, like no starches and proteins, and you don't eat fruits and vegetables together at the same time. The food combining chart is in the download section at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. Actually, it's oneness.lifestyles.com. So go there, peruse the website. I've tried to upload as much as I possibly can for your self-healing. We want you to be able to avoid sickness and disease, to prevent premature aging, and do it harmoniously for the best of life, health, wealth, and happiness. That's our vision for you here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. So with that, I want to thank Reverend Claire for coming on, because she so succinctly brings that inspiration to our healthy mind. There are actually 5 domains that we are focused on: healthy mind, body, family, finances, and society or community. All of it brings that whole idea of oneness together with regard to how our health and well-being affects the whole. We were talking about the digestive process and how that all happens, and the colon and all of that. And one of the parts that we don't really recognize as the colon is the appendix. And you've probably heard of that people get appendicitis. That's when you are so toxic, because you may not know, your appendix handles the most toxic debris from your colon. Like the most poisonous stuff goes into your appendix. So when your appendix is giving you a problem, that means that your entire system is really, really toxic. And when you have your appendix removed, there's no place for it to go. So if you've had an attack of appendicitis and they've had to remove your appendix, that was part of your colon, in case you didn't know. All of our body parts are absolutely necessary, or we wouldn't have them in the first place. So it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to take care of our body, to really awaken to this responsibility, and to utilize this information, this knowledge that I'm giving to you, so that you can awaken, so that you can master your own health, master your own well-being. The times really dictate the agenda. And our agenda here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles is to make sure that you have a resource for the nutritionals that you need. And when I say nutritionals, the supplements, I'm talking about the ones that are whole food based, not the synthetics. And almost 95% of the supplements that are on the market today have synthetic vitamins in them that are really poisoning our system. One in particular is magnesium stearate. And you hear me talking about that all the time, because it really is this silent I don't want to use the word killer, but this silent disruptor, how about I use that, of our health and well-being. Because if you're choking down tablets every day, you're taking supplements that have magnesium stearate in it, and you don't realize that this flow agent is really a poison, and after so long, it causes your cells to no longer be able to absorb any nutrition from food or supplements. You need to know that. You need to know that. So check your labels. And the thing about it is, because they had me fooled too. Had me fooled. And I just realized, just came to my awareness that these nutraceuticals, this lab to the bottle vitamin supplements is really harmful to our bodies. So as we take more responsibility and we get a better understanding of our bodies, we know better so we can do better. Let's talk about the liver a little bit. In the process of digestion, you know those fatty acids that everybody's saying that we need, the omega-3s, 3, 6, and 9? Those are actually processed by the liver. They go straight to the liver. They don't even go into that part of the digestion in the small intestines. They go straight to the liver. The liver is like a laboratory because everything else, all the poisons that's not toxic from the lower colon that goes into the appendix, but the toxins that are in the intestines, okay, in the small intestines, some of those, the chemicals, actually go to the liver to be processed. And the liver ends up holding a lot of those harmful chemicals. If you are taking pharmaceutical drugs, the debris that's left in your body is processed through your liver and your kidneys. And that is why some of the side effects that are associated with prescription drugs severely affect the liver and the kidney. So it's important that in our detox, in our cleansing routine, that we're not only working on cleansing the colon, but also the liver and the kidneys as well. Now, we say, well, how do we get that done? That's why we're here as a resource. Give us a call, because it really doesn't serve you that I give you all this information right now, because everybody's body is different. And we want you to learn the exact steps that you need to create the healthy life that you want and deserve. And we are committed and dedicated to helping you to self-heal. And here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyle, we call that transformational self-healing. This awakening, this mastery of your own health, this responsibility is a right here, right now kind of thing. It's a present moment. So while you're watching this show, make some decisions, some commitments for yourself. Just get quiet and breathe. Breathe. Talking about our respiratory system. Most of the time, we do not take in enough air. So it's important that when you're contemplating your new healthy lifestyle, that you just sit and meditate and breathe about it, contemplate it, and breathe in deeply and hold it and give your cells the opportunity to gain from that oxygen, and breathe out deeply, pushing your stomach muscles in as you exhale so that you get all that stale air out of the bottom of your lungs. That if you're used to shallow breathing, you're not really getting that stale air out. And it's another part that's poisoning your system. While you're being quiet, just listen. Listen, relax. Listen to your thoughts. Because as we talk about all of this, there's this part of you going, I'm not doing that. That's too hard. Nobody does that. You know, that whole conversation that you have going on. Yeah, that one, that you hear, that chatter that you hear going on now. So are you really listening within? Or are you hearing the last commercial jingle that you heard on the radio, or the last thing that someone said to you that upset you, and you're rehearsing in your mind what you're going to say to them the next time? Well, all of that has to do with your health as well. There really is no such thing as an empty thought. Thoughts are things, and they create your life. So take this information. We talked about the digestion, we talked about the liver, we talked about your colon. Think on these things and how it really affects your life. And just a little common sense will help you go a long way in taking the knowledge and intelligently utilizing it. Because we say knowledge is power, but knowledge is not power unless it is systematized and utilized intelligently. So if you have those negative beliefs and you're not utilizing the knowledge well, this is an opportunity for you to just sit back, relax, and breathe. Because that's part of your healing as well. As you're breathing, think on positive things. I am healthy, I am well, I am energy. Whatever it is you want for yourself in your body, just say so. In your mind, in your heart. This is a Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and we'll be back after these messages to wrap up and give you some more things you can use for a healthy lifestyle. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Great day. This is Shifa from Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, and I'm here with your emergency health awareness alert. Are you innocently poisoning yourself? 90% of people who take health supplements are poisoning themselves. How? If you've heard anything about magnesium stearate or stearic acid, as it is sometimes called, you know that vitamin and supplement bottles everywhere are loaded down with this potentially dangerous and life-endangering additives that don't need to be there. The reality is, you probably have not heard of stearic acid though. Believe it or not, many supplements, including those made by reputable brands, contain a flow agent additive that over time can actually block the absorption of nutrients into your body. This ingredient is known as magnesium stearate, and regular consumption of it is linked to the development of a harmful biofilm in the intestines that cause digestive problems. Despite having the word magnesium in its name, magnesium stearate is not a source of nutritive magnesium. The only reason why supplement manufacturers add this chalk-like substance to their products is to make them easier to process through their machinery. Supplement companies have been intentionally misleading their customers for some time now, making it seem and making it sound like the inclusion of this additive is helpful for your general welfare. There is stearic acid in 90% of all pills currently on the market. For more information about this emergency health awareness alert, contact us at 1-800-609-8157. And we can direct you to supplements that do not contain magnesium stearate. This has been an emergency health awareness alert. I'm your sister Shifa from Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. Welcome back to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. We're talking about how your body functions. We've just gone over your colon and your liver and your appendix. We talked about being constipated and why you don't want to be, and just because you have a bowel movement every day or a couple doesn't really mean that your colon is clean. We talked about how the little villi inside your small intestines actually suck out the nutrition from your food or the poisons from your food, whatever it is you put it in there, into your bloodstream. And why that is so critically important, because your blood passes through and to every organ in your body. It is what determines your cellular health. So you knew I was going there, right? Because it's always about your cellular health, because you are nourishing your cells or destroying your cells with every morsel. You may have heard me say before that the weapon of mass destruction that everybody has is a fork, a spoon, and a knife. Yeah. We do more damage to ourselves through the foods that we ingest, through the things that we put on our skin that we absorb, and through the things that we breathe in, the smoke and the environmental pollutants. There are all kinds of heavy metals that are affecting us. And so cellular health is of utmost importance, because you are made of, I am made of, we are made of cells. Every organ, cells, brain cells, right? Now, what's interesting about brain cells is, like the rest of the cells in the body, they, every 48 hours or so, and definitely within a 7-year period, you're a totally new person. Your brain cells, you got them for life. So you mess up your brain cells, you're losing some. So what are some of the things that destroy brain cells? Sugar. I know we don't want to hear that. Me either. But too much sugar will destroy your brain cells. Now, there are other things, of course, recreational drugs and things like that. But the key here, what I'm really talking about, is nourishing your cellular structure for every cell in your body. Talk about 100 trillion cells in your body. That's what we're made of. I'll say it again. Cellular health. So let's talk about cellular detox. Cellular detox is critical, because when you get heavy metals in your cells, when you get poison in your cells, then your nervous system, your hormones, your body doesn't function like it's supposed to, because the cells are either dead or dying or diseased, and they're not communicating to your central nervous system what your body's supposed to be doing. And the organs are dead and dying, right? Because it goes to reason. The cells are, then the organs are. And so nothing's functioning properly. And that's what this whole self-healing process is about, to get your body to function properly. And by giving you accurate knowledge, so that you can utilize it intelligently, you can self-heal. Now, this self-healing requires an awakening within you, so that you begin to master your own health. And so you say, well, wake up from what? Well, wake up from all that stuff that they're telling you about on TV. And wake up from all of the things that we believed were true that are not. Wake up from the lies that we've been told that the nutritionals that we're taking are good for us, when it's really synthetic chemicals that they made in a lab, and they can put it on the label and legally deceive you. That's why Oneness Wellness Lifestyles is here. We're on the front of the wave, always been, since the early 70s. We pioneered this whole part of this wellness revolution that we're in, okay? We're on the front of the wave of getting this information to you that you've been deceived and that you can know your body. You don't have to leave it to somebody else. Now, if you break a bone, please go have it set, all right? But I'm talking about what you can do every single day for yourself. It requires an awakening. And even for those of you who have done this before, you say, well, I already know how to cleanse. I got some stuff in my cupboard right now. I know what to do, and I've been doing this for years, and I don't need you to tell me what to do and all that kind of stuff. This is just information. And if you do know, share it with somebody else, right? Share it with somebody else. But what I want to say to you is, if this is something that you are familiar with, there are still things that we don't know that we don't even know. I'm in the same place. I've been doing this for 41 years. There are things that we don't even know that we don't know. So take a fresh look and begin to delve into some of these things that we've been deceived about, and be open. Be open. It's like having a garden, and you really have to pay attention to your garden, right? If not, the critters will get to it, right? The rabbits and deer, that's what we have to deal with out here at the retreat. They'll come eat your stuff up. And so your body is like a garden, and you really have to tend to it. You have to protect it. And when weeds start growing, you get an outbreak on your skin, you get sinus pressure, you get symptoms of some dis-ease, weeds in your garden. It takes continual pruning in order for you to bear the blossoms of good health. So it doesn't matter how long you've known what to do and how to do it, it's a continual process of pruning so that you can bloom into the wellness that you are truly wanting to express. And I know that we all are. So Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, 1-800-609-8157. The number again is 1-800-609-8157. Go to the website, oneness-lifestyles.com. Download your free ebook, Awaken the Healer Within, Transformational Self-Healing, so that you can get a hold of this transformation process to create a tangible, like real, touch it, feel it, a tangible shift in your mindset, your behavior, and your actions with regard to your health and well-being. Release any negative thoughts, feelings, or conversations that are blocking you from getting from where you are to where you say you want to be. Move from that place of uncertainty. Well, am I this or am I that? Say what's so for you so that you can stop second guessing yourself. The healer lives within. Decide to be well. Decide to go from healthy to healthier. We can think that we're healthy, and we're healthy like right up here, but it's like healthy way up here that we can get. So there's always more to know, to gain, to do, to aspire to. Learn to pour more into yourself than you do to others. Now, I know that's a big one. Learn to serve other folks from your overflow. And this is speaking to relaxation and rest and taking good care of yourself so that you have enough energy to serve others. But you don't serve from your full cup, you serve from the saucer. And that is a mindset. And that way you don't feel like you all beat up at the end of the day. I really want you to have more faith in yourself, faith in your own life, and faith that you can heal. Because your body is knowable. You can know it. That's why we're going through all this about your liver and your kidneys and your colon and the body parts. How do they function? Most people know more about their car or their lawnmower or some other apparatus or mechanical device that they own than they do about their own body. And so you cut your finger and you run to the doctor. And I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. Absolutely consult your physician before you change your diet or embark on an exercise program. And my disclaimer is that the healer, the creator of you, lives within you and is the healer. You can know the direction that you want to go in and start moving toward your goals and begin to enjoy increased health and well-being. Transform your life. You can do it. You can do it. We're here to help. Oneness, Wellness, Lifestyles. That's what we're here to do. Through our programs and our informationals, it's to get you, again, you've heard me say it like 3 times already, accurate knowledge. Because there's so much deception in the marketplace, it's ridiculous. The whole supplement industry has totally co-opted the wellness piece. That's why there's like a gazillion bottles to choose from of vitamins and minerals and stuff on the shelf. And if you knew better, you would do better. And that's why we want to bring you this information so that you can know better, so that you can have accurate knowledge and utilize it intelligently, so that you can enjoy increased success in your health and well-being. Here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, we want you to tell a friend so that they can tune in to the show. All of the shows are archived on the website, onennesslifestyles.com, onennesslifestyles.com. So if you missed any of this, you can watch it online. We're also on Our Radio Network, and you'll see that on the website too, where it says either says listen live or it says shows or something like that, but you'll know it's radio and TV. As a matter of fact, I think that's what it says. So follow us. We'd love to have you. You've been watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and I am your host, Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. Take good care.